everybody. Welcome to day 9 of our 30-day journey with Habakkuk. Today, we're reading Habakkuk 3 through 6. God came from Teman, the Holy One from Mount Paran. His glory covered the heavens, and his praise filled the earth. His splendor was like the sunrise. Rays flashed from his hand, where his power was hidden. Plague went before him. Pestilence followed his steps. He stood and shook the earth. He looked and made the nations tremble. The ancient mountains crumbled and the age-old hills collapsed, but he marches on forever. In this passage, we see a dramatic shift in Habakkuk's perspective. He moves from questioning God to standing in awe of him. Rather than focusing on the chaos around him, Habakkuk turns his eyes to the greatness of God. The imagery he uses is breathtaking. God arrives in splendor, his radiance like the sunrise, his power bursting forth like rays from his hand. But this is not a distant or passive God. This is the God who comes in power. When Habakkuk describes God's arrival, he recalls how God has moved in history. The reference to Teman and Mount Paran connects to the Exodus, reminding the people of God to lead them through the wilderness with his mighty presence. The shaking, the earth, the crumbling mountains, and the trembling nations all emphasize that nothing can withstand the presence of the Almighty. This is the same God who parted the Red Sea, rained down manna from heaven, and brought his people into the promised land. For Habakkuk, remembering God's past faithfulness is a source of strength in the present. He realizes that even when things seem uncertain, God is still in control. He is not indifferent to the suffering of his people. He is moving, he is acting, he is coming with power. How often do we find ourselves overwhelmed by life struggles? I know for the past week, I've had a rough week. We focus on our circumstances, our fears, our limitations, but Habakkuk shows us a different way. Instead of being consumed by the weight of our troubles, we can fix our eyes on the power of God. God is not just a God of the past. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. We know that because that's what Hebrews 13 tells us, 13:8 tells us. His power is still active in our lives. He still rescues the brokenhearted. He still delivers those in bondage. He still shakes the earth to make way for his plans. Even when we don't see it, even when we don't feel it, God is working on our behalf. Whatever feels overwhelming to you today, remember, God is greater. His power is not distant, it is near. He marches on forever. His strength is unwavering. So what areas of your life feel overwhelming right now? How does knowing that God is powerful bring you comfort? How can you shift your focus from your struggles to God's strength? Can you recall a time when God showed up in power in your life? How does that encourage you today? My prayer for you today is that you're reminded of his power for when you feel weak. When the weight of life presses down on you, call on him to help lift your eyes to him. He is our warrior, our defender, our stronghold. We can rest in his truth that he is always moving, always working, always coming in power. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.